Philipp Otto Runge. B. Wolgast, Pomerania, 1777. D. Hamburg, 1810. Despite his tragically brief career and his small output, Runge was a major figure in the German Romantic movement, second only to Friedrich. He was a late developer, only turning to art in his 20s. Runge was a skilled portraitist, but is better known for his complex allegorical works, which are steeped in obscure romantic symbolism. Color is the ultimate art, he declared, and must remain a mystery which we can divine only through the marvel of flowers. Flowers play a significant role in both Arion and the Hulsenbeck Children. Runge's most cherished project was a series of pictures entitled The Times of the Day. He intended to display the works in a special building, accompanied by music and poetry. But at the time of his death at the age of 33, only one piece, Morning, was completed, leaving this ambitious project unfinished. Lifeline. 1777. Born in Wolgast, the son of a ship owner. 1797. First drawing lessons from Joachim Harderich. 1799 to 1801. Trains at the Copenhagen Academy. 1801-03. Continues studies at the Dresden Academy. 1804. Moves to Hamburg. 1808. Paints first version of Morning, the most complete section of his Times of the Day series. 1810. Publishes his treatise on the color sphere. 1810. Dies of consumption in Hamburg. His fourth child is born on the following day. The Hulsenbeck Children. Runge believed the universe was bound together by a spirituelle subs of harmony. Here, three different phases of childhood are echoed by the sunflowers on the left. 1805-06, oil on canvas, 132 x 144 centimeters, Kunsthalle, Hamburg, Germany. Arion's sea journey. Arion was famed for his skill with the lyre. He was thrown overboard by pirates, but was rescued by a dolphin, charmed by his music. 1809, watercolor on paper, 51 x 118 centimeters, Kunsthalle, Hamburg, Germany. Karl Blechen. B. Cottbus, Brandenburg, 1798, D. Berlin, 1840. A renowned German landscape painter, Blechen initially worked as a bank clerk, before training as an artist at the Berlin Academy. His early style was heavily influenced by Friedrich, whom he probably met in Dresden. By 1824, he was working as a scene painter at the Königstädtisches Theater in Berlin, and this added a dramatic edge to his paintings. Blechen resigned from his post in 1827 following a dispute with a prima donna, and went traveling in Italy. It was during this time that he developed a more intense, naturalistic style, with free brushwork and bold color contrasts. In 1831, Blechen was appointed professor of landscape painting at the Berlin Academy. However, the onset of mental illness curtailed his career, and his final pictures are full of foreboding. Mill in the valley near Amalfi/N/Ta/Y, Blechen's landscape style altered dramatically as he tried to capture the brilliant light and searing heat. 1829, oil on paper, mounted on canvas, 14 x 22 centimeters, Kunsthalle, Hamburg, German. Carl Friedrich Schinkel. B. Neuruppin, 1781, D. Berlin, 1841. Although he is remembered mainly as a great architect, during Schinkel's early career the political situation in Prussia, then under French occupation, precluded any major commissions, and he concentrated on paintings, panoramas, and theatrical work. His style was greatly influenced by Friedrich, whose paintings Artist Unknown were exhibited in Berlin in 1810. His views had an artificial, dreamlike quality, while his stage sets combined architectural clarity with romantic flights of fancy. These culminated in his exotic designs for the celebrated 1816 production of Mozart's Magic Flute. In the same year, Schinkel gained his first major commission for a public building, the Neue Wache, New Guard House, in Berlin, and his career as an architect blossomed. Egyptian set design for Act II of the Magic Flute. Schinkel's stage sets reflected the popularity of Egyptian designs in the wake of Napoleon's recent campaigns in Egypt. 1815, watercolor on paper, Bibliothèque de l'Opéra Nationale, Paris, France. Peter von Cornelius. B. Dusseldorf, 1783, D. Berlin, 1867. Trained by his father, who taught at the Dusseldorf Academy, Cornelius was a key figure in the revival of German fresco painting. In 1811, he settled in Rome, where he became a leading member of the Nazarenes. Cornelius had a strong nationalist agenda, producing illustrations for two German literary masterpieces, Faust and the Nibelungenlied. He was employed by influential German patrons, among them Ludwig I of Bavaria and Frederick William IV of Prussia. Not all his work was well received. His most ambitious undertaking was a massive fresco, The Last Judgment, 1836-39, Inspired by Michelangelo. After laboring for 4 years, Cornelius was met with a lukewarm reaction from Ludwig when it was completed. Lifeline. 1811 in his late 20s, moves to Rome, 1819 summoned to Munich, to work for Ludwig of Bavaria, 1821-25 director of the Düsseldorf Academy, 1841 paints frescoes for the Prussian royal family in Berlin, 1853 returns to Rome, 1867 dies in Berlin. The wise and foolish virgins in the parable from Matthew's Gospel. The wise virgins have oil for their lamps, while the foolish have none. C. 1813, Oil on Canvas, Kunstmuseum Düsseldorf, Germany. The Last Judgment, often cited as the largest fresco in the world, it was commissioned by Ludwig I of Bavaria. 1836-39, fresco, 18.9 times 11.6 meters, Ludwigskirche, Munich, Germany. Joseph recognized by his brother part of a fresco cycle that was produced by the Nazarenes, also called the Brotherhood of St. Luke for the Prussian consul general in Rome. The fraternal theme had an obvious relevance for the Brotherhood. 1816, fresco with tempera, 236 x 290 cm, Staatliche Museen, Berlin, Germany. Friedrich Overbeck. B. Lübeck, 1789, D. Rome, 1869. Overbeck was the most prominent member of the Nazarenes, the influential group he founded with a number of fellow students at the Vienna Academy. Calling themselves the Brotherhood of St. Luke, they moved to Rome and set up an artistic community in a disused monastery. Overbeck, in particular, adopted the ascetic lifestyle of a painter-monk. He refused to study anatomy from dissected corpses or female models, saying, "I prefer to draw less correctly than damage my feelings, which are the artist's greatest treasure." Overbeck converted to Catholicism in 1813 and specialized mainly in religious subjects, although he was also a fine portraitist. His style mimicked the strong lines and restrained colors of Renaissance masters such as Perugino, Francis Angelico, and the young Raphael. Lifeline. 1789 born in Lübeck, 1806 attends Vienna Academy, 1809 co-founds the Nazarenes, 1810 moves to Rome, 1813 converts to Roman Catholicism, 1816 works on the frescoes at the Casa Bartoldi, 1828 completes Italia and Germania, 1829 paints Rose Miracle of St. Francis in Assisi, 1869 dies in Rome. Joseph being sold by his brothers. This is taken from the cycle of frescoes at the Casa Bartoldi, the Nazarenes' most important, collaborative project. 1816, fresco with tempera, 243 by 304 cm, Staatliche Museen, Berlin, Germany. The Adoration of the Magi produced for Queen Caroline of Bavaria. This was Overbeck's first important commission. The theme of the Magi, the first pagans to be converted, was particularly appealing to the artist, as he was about to convert to Catholicism. 1811-13, Oil on Panel, 50 x 66 cm, Kunsthalle, Hamburg, Germany. Everything was full of that immoderate asceticism, which appears wraith-like to a healthy man of our day, like the appearance of the master himself. 19th century author Adolf Stehr, 1853, on Overbeck's studio.